Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Fignuts podcast. This is season 5, episode 4. If you counted all of them, that's 198 episodes of crazy football stuff. I'm Craig.
And my name is Britt.
Britt, we're back for the most exciting episode in the world.
Which one is this?
Tight ends, kickers, and defense.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this was supposed to be Cinch's episode. I think.
Well, he's not here, so we'll just go with it. How are you?
Sure. I was great until I just heard that we were doing tight ends, kickers, and defenses. I totally forgotten. This is I get it. It's not a big area of discussion, but we'll do our best to cover it. I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Let's jump right in. And what are you drinking tonight?
So tonight, I already opened it, so I have no can noise. But this is Lola IPA by Medusa Brewing.
I had that one too.
This is
Give me a can of that.
This is an extremely light IPA. It's not as hoppy as Wee Demon, but it's very light for an IPA. It's like, there's light penetration. You can't really see through it, but it's very light. It's crisp. A lot of people don't like that word, I know, but that's the best word I can use to describe
That's
it.
the word I'll use. Actually, the word I would have used is the flavor is sharp. Like for the lighter color on it, I didn't expect it to be as sharp as it was, and it wasn't overly hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't exceptionally bitter, but the taste profile was there.
Right. You're drinking.
I mean, it didn't lack for flavor.
Yeah, because this has Citra and Mosaic hops combined.
Yeah, and for Citra, that's the other thing. Citra IPAs tend to be a little bit more borderline blue moonish in terms of like their citrus flavor or their citrus nose. Mm-hmm. This wasn't.
No,
this wasn't at all when I had it. It was, again, I'll use the word sharp. When I saw Citra Mosaic, I'm like, okay, my wife might like this because she really likes beers that are made with Citra. And when I took one sip of it, I was like, oh no, no, she is not going to want to drink this. So,
but hey, you know what? You've got her to start drinking IPAs, I've noticed.
Oh my God. Sunday, Craig and I were out at Two Roads just enjoying some nice weather in the hop yard and ordering our last beer of the day. I looked at her and I said, what do you want? And she said, get me a Little Juicy, which is their session IPA in the juicier kind of haze line. And both Craig and I stopped and went, what did you just ask for?
I think she's drunk. No,
I was just like shocked. I mean, she is definitely trying to expand and try a whole bunch of different things. She is, without a doubt, in our group of friends, the most adventurous beer-wise, in my opinion. So, she'll try something she knows she's not going to like just to say that she tried it, and so there's that. Oh, excuse me. I'm yawning because kickers, tight ends, and defenses are so freaking interesting. But I'm also drinking a Diet Coke because I had a very active weekend alcohol-wise, and my liver is taking a couple of days off.
That's fair. Sometimes you got to do that,
Sometimes you just got to do it. But just so folks know, our plan tonight, it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode. And part of the reason is going to be we need to save a huge chunk of time because the next 3 weeks, we are going to release the Roundtable series for 2021, which is right now scheduled to include myself, Craig, the Cinch, and the boy. Sean will be returning to the Roundtable, and we want to save a ton of time for that. We do not want to waste valuable time that could be used listening to Cinch and Sean bicker over Ronald Jones
because they're going to
defenses. So let's just get right into it. Let's get a couple burning hot takes and go right into our rankings so that we can make this a nice quick episode and really put our energy into the big Roundtable one. Craig, I'm going to go first this week because I have a question from Twitter that came in
nice.
in between episodes. What's that?
Nice, nice.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I think I'm going to amp up your volume a little bit. There we go. Okay. So at Carmine J. Lorenzo writes to us, at Fignuts DFS. Love the podcast, guys. I draft 11th in a 12-team snake non-PPR. Who are you eyeing at the 11 and 14? 2 running backs, right? Who? So there's 3 questions there. Let's just go right. Let's get your opinion on it. Who are you eyeing at picks 11 and 14 overall? So he's at the back end of a snake draft.
Ah, man, snake drafts.
I know you hate that.
I
but
do.
11
I don't like
and
them.
14. If he's picking one pick later, he's got the double, and it's a little clearer, I think. But at 11 and 14, what are you thinking?
Let me pull up my running back list really quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, burning hot takes. He doesn't get these questions in advance.
No. All right. So we're going to assume everyone before him, minus maybe 1 or 2 people, are taking a running back.
I think you have to assume at that point it's a fair guess to say 8 running backs are off the board when he comes up at 11, maybe 7.
Maybe 7, because people are going to take Mahomes and people are going to take Tyreek Hill in the first round.
There's always it's non-PPR.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so Mahomes
probably. But there's always that guy. There's always that guy who is convinced he's got the breakthrough candidate. Like the legendary story of that best ball I did 3 years ago, where Deshaun Watson was like the 6th or 7th rated quarterback, and with the first overall pick in a best ball, this guy picked Deshaun Watson and then railed on us about it. He finished last, by the way. That's not the point. There's always that one guy who's like, oh yeah, the pick is such and such, and then he stands up and goes, give me TJ Houshmandzadeh. Wait, what?
Championship. Old commercial. Look it up.
Yeah. So if he's drafting 11,
Man.
I'm going to say 7 or 8 are gone.
Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. All right.
I mean, on our list, that brings you down into Aaron Jones, Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb territory.
All right. So you are going to have to go to running back at this point in a snake draft. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I would look at, if they're there, I would go Aaron Jones, Eckler, and Mixon. And I'm sorry, Cinch, I'm not picking Chubb. People like him. I'm not going to pick him, but
I think because he's so late, even with it being non-PPR, you've got to consider a wideout here.
That's true.
You're going to get probably better value at wideout. Not with that first pick, but on the 14th, on the comebacker.
Yeah, on the well, that's true, because on the 14th pick, you're pretty much going to have your pick of wide receivers. In the snake draft, a lot of those guys are going to be gone, so then you're going to be down to like Keenan Allen or Allen Robinson by the time it's your turn again.
Yeah, at the 14th pick, DeAndre Hopkins is probably still there. Calvin Ridley's still there. Justin Jefferson's probably still there. DK Metcalf is still there.
I would even say
names.
I would even say Diggs and Adams might still be there then.
Might be. So yeah, I probably go. I'm looking best available, but if I'm worried about positional lineups, then I'm going probably running back, wide receiver. So what I said to him was that deep into the first round leaves you a lot of what ifs to have to deal with. Depending on your format, I'm likely to take best available from the wide receiver running back pool and not target a short list. Honestly, drafting that spot is a challenge for sure. If I have to put a name on it, I'm likely looking for a running back that people are hesitant on, like Barkley or Zeke, but they're likely already gone. A Nick Chubb might be your best bet, and if they're all gone, that means someone had to slide to you, like Taylor. So yes, that was where I went with that. So we're going to say
I agree.
We're getting into that kind of strategy at this point. So okay, what have you got for me?
But thanks for the question. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you, Carmine, and keep listening. We appreciate it.
Okay, so for me, and we discussed this before, but I think people need a reminder. So this past week, NFL teams started doing pads at practice, so it's a little more contact at practice. So what happened was this was happened yesterday. So for the Bengals, they're in pads. It's the first defense against the first offense. And the defense, I think they picked off Burrow once or twice. They batted away a couple passes, etc.
Okay.
People online are in a fervor over it's Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense are doomed. I would just like to take a moment and possibly both of us remind people that that doesn't matter. Personally, for me,
Practice.
I am glad the first team defense is doing well against their offense. Because if I read that the defense was just letting everything get through, that would be concerning to me. And people online don't get that at all. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
So breaking news. That's not even a question, but it is a good discussion topic.
Right. It's more of a discussion than a question. Yes.
The really quick. I don't know if a lot of people understand this about football, but what happens prior to week 1 does not count towards qualifying for the playoffs or Super Bowl.
That is true. That is very true.
There's a reason why it's called preseason.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, I will go back to I think it was the year Alex Smith first came to Kansas City. You know what? No, I'm going to go further than that. Elvis Gerback.
Whoa, jeez.
Comes to Kansas City from San Francisco. That was when back when we used to have 5 preseason games.
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City walked into 5 away opponents or something like that. It might have been a few home games, but I think they played mostly away. 5 opponents and absolutely steamrolled everyone in preseason. And everyone was like, Chiefs suddenly look like they've got a clue. Maybe Elvis Gerback is the savior. The Chiefs won 8 games that year. In the games that counted. Do not read too much into practices. Are they important? Yes. Can they give us glimpses as what to expect? Yes. But don't sit there and say, oh my God, the world is ending because of what you saw in practice in August. These guys are professional athletes that have a long ass haul ahead of them. And they know this. They know they've got to play X many games in the next couple of weeks. They know it's a long call. Don't overthink it. Particularly the first couple days of pass. I don't think Joe Burrow got up that morning and said, I need to be mentally prepared. This is the biggest practice of my life. Guys, come on. Don't stop it.
Just stop
it.
But also too,
what's that?
Also too, the thing with camp, people also players need to calm down a bit, because if you're the Giants, you don't want your starting quarterback on the bottom of a pile from everyone fighting. That's not good.
He jumped into it too.
He
That's
did.
the part that people are. Yeah, I mean, so if people don't know what's going on, I'm sure they've already heard. Daniel Jones, there was a scuffle that broke out into a full fight because Evan Ingram felt he was blocked inappropriately, so he laid a late hit on one of the running backs. I don't remember which one it was. That led to a scuffle, and everyone just jumped into a huge dog pile. Daniel Jones, being the quarterback, decided, I need to get in there. I don't know why he thought this. I don't know what part of his brain said to him, this is a great idea, get in there. But he did, and Joe Judge let them all have it. He canceled practice. He made them run wind sprints.
Those suck.
I mean, what's that?
Those suck.
Yeah, they're bad.
They suck.
Oh, yeah, in full pads. In full pads. He made them run wind sprints, and then he gave them a expletive-written read-off that newspapers were like, I can't print this. So, yeah. So I think the message got across, but people were like, Daniel Jones, why are you doing that? You're made of glass, right? You're a quarterback to begin with, and you're not exactly the most sturdy. And his response scared the crap out of me. He goes, well, I'm part of the team. Okay, great. I don't like the lemming. I like the idea that you're all in it together. I don't like the lemming mentality of where one go, we go all.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, that's why we have so much crap with QAnon, is because, you just, this lemming mentality. I'm not going to get into a political rant, I swear. But, I mean, be careful. Be careful there. You want to be part of the team, but you also want to be smart. You also want to be smart about it. I always tell the story really quick, and then we're going to get onto our thing. my brother's first date with his eventual wife was at a hockey playoff game where there was, and I kid you not, 6 fights in this playoff game. And the 6th and final one was a massive melee pile in the center ice where both goalies were even whacking at each other.
Really?
Okay? There was one guy from the visiting team who had already gotten one major penalty. He knew if he got into that scrum, someone was going to take enough shots at him that he'd get another major and he'd get tossed out. So he skated around the edge of the rink and stayed away from it. One guy in a bench clearing brawl was like, nope, I want to play tonight. I'm not getting into that pile. Now, the funny part of the story is my brother decided to taunt him, and the guy shot a look at my brother that I will never forget the rest of my life. We were like 2 rows back from the glass. After the game resumed sometime later, there was a face-off. That guy got the puck, and he flipped it into the crowd, and it landed 3 feet behind my brother's head. And he skated by, and he stared my brother down. And I went, great, that guy's going to be waiting outside by our fucking car now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, the one time my brother decides to, and he's not a very angry, vocal sports fan.
Not really, no. Sometimes, but not often. Not often.
The one time he screams at the hockey player, this dude remembers it. Crazy. So, all right, let's move on because we got to get to our tight end rankings at the very least.
Because everyone wants those right away.
Yeah. So we ranked 30 of them, and by ranking 30 of them, I mean there's 30 names on this list. But realistic, that's wait a minute, that's wide receiver. We ranked 23 of them, and by 23, I mean there's 23 names on the list. Our top 5 was pretty clear. I mean the top number 1 for us, breaking news, shock of shocks. Our number 1, 2, and 3 we all agreed on, and they were Kelsey, Waller, and Kittle. I'm not a big Kittle guy. But I can't deny that if Kittle is healthy, he's going to perform. Even with the potential change of quarterback. And I'm hearing more and more. Was it Trey Lance? I always forget who's out there. Trey Lance.
Yes. Yep. He's there.
I'm hearing more and more. Everybody's like, Trey Lance could be the starter. Trey Lance could be the starter. I won't be shocked if Trey Lance is the starter in week 1. I'm not predicting Trey Lance to be the starter in week 1. But that being said,
I think by the time their bye week happens, then they may switch.
You know what I think it is? It's going to all depend on how the team's playing.
Yes.
Remember Patrick Mahomes sat his entire first year as a rookie because freaking Alex Smith went out there and led the Chiefs to 13-3 record. And one of those, I'm sorry, 14-2, and one of those 2 losses was week 17 because they rested Alex Smith. It was Patrick Mahomes' first start. So, it depends on the start. It depends on the start. Some guys react well to that, some guys don't. So, all right, so we've got Kelsey, Waller, Kittle. Kelsey, I think, is the top of the mountain. Waller and Kittle are just the next cliff down. Number 4, we've got Mark Andrews. Cinch is down on Mark Andrews this year. I can understand why. The rest of us have him at 4, so we have him at a composite median of 4. We'll argue with Cinch over that. Number 5 is everyone except Craig has TJ Hawkinson at 5. Craig, you have TJ Hawkinson as low as 7.
I do.
What's your concern about TJ Hawkinson?
My concern is health and quarterback change. Those are my 2.
It's not an improvement. Golf is not an improvement.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see, but yeah.
I agree. I can understand that. We've got Kyle Pitts at 6. We're all over the board on Kyle Pitts. Cinch has him at 4. Craig is at 5. Sean and I have him at 6. We're kind of similar, but no one can agree on what to do with Kyle Pitts. This is what happens with rookies, right?
Yeah.
A rookie tight end comes out, and he's highly hyped. Nobody knows where to put him. So, number 7 is Noah Fant. Why is Noah Fant at number 7? Ask Craig. Craig, tell us why Noah Fant is at number 7.
I don't know. I think for me, I feel like this is going to be Noah Fant's breakout year. I mean, they've already said they're going to use him in more routes in the offense, so I think no matter who Denver decides in quarterback, I think Noah's going to have a good year, provided he stays healthy.
Okay, Cinch is not big on Noah Fant. The rest of us have him around this spot. Number 8 is Dallas Goedert, and this is where I say, well, let me go through our top 10, and I'll bring up that point. We've got Dallas Goedert at number 8. That should tell you a lot. Dallas Goedert, really? Number 9 is Logan Thomas, and then we have Tyler Higbee rounding out the top 10. So our top 10 is Kelsey, Waller, Kittle, Andrews, Hawkinson, Pitts, Noah Fant, Dallas Goedert, Logan Thomas, and Tyler Higbee. We can agree that the first cliff comes after Travis Kelce, right? That's the first cliff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Waller, Kittle, probably the second cliff.
Yes, I would say so.
Then tier 3. How far does tier 3 go? Tier 3 is definitely Andrews, Hawkinson. Does it go down to Pitts and Fant?
I think it goes down to Fant because
then
Pitts is such a question mark.
Yeah, well, maybe we have Pitts ranked above Fant, but yeah. And then you don't fall off a cliff. You fall into the pits of Mount Doom at number 8 with Dallas Goedert and then Logan Thomas and Tyler Higbee. Nothing against these guys. They all have tremendous upside, but they're all guys who have shown us brief flashes of brilliance and then just never been consistent with it. So, Craig, that's 10 guys we listed off. There's essentially the top of the mountain and then 2 tiers and then a total cliff. When is too early to go get Travis Kelce for you?
It depends. Are you doing PPR or no?
It's definitely a PPR in this situation. 5th round? 3rd round?
So the question is too early?
Yeah.
Too early? Yeah. Probably around 3-ish. Though, I mean, I've seen him taken first. So
I've seen him go first round. That blows my mind. You cannot pass up on Tyreek Hill to take Travis Kelce. But he's the best tight end. I know. Trust me, I'm a Chiefs fan. I know. I also know that Travis is not going to score as many points as Tyreek Hill. Yeah, but the drop-off. Yeah, there's a drop-off. But the difference between Noah Fant and Robert Tonyan is not the difference between Kelce and Hill.
Right.
Sorry, it's just not. And that's my point in this. There's like 3 guys at the top here. There's one at the top of the mountain. Then you got Waller and Kittle. And then you have the ensemble cast.
Then
the rest of the tight
honestly,
ends.
then it's just pick someone, really.
All right, so there's the question. You miss out on Kelce. Let's say you got one of those guys in your league. Kelce goes like the 3rd round.
Okay.
That triggers everybody to go, holy crap, there's only 2 more guys left. That by the time it gets back around to you, Waller and Kittle are gone. So you're in round 4, and the top 3 are all gone. How late, realistically, are you now waiting to take tight end?
This is the 4th round.
I'm probably looking at round 7 or 8.
Earliest. Yeah, I honestly, for me, I was gonna say somewhere between 8 and 10, depending who's being drafted. But yeah.
Yeah, and if there's a tight end run,
then
and
sure.
it gets to me in turn 8, and my choices are Dallas Goedert and Logan Thomas, I'm waiting till like round 12.
You might as well.
Because then it's gonna be Tonyan or Irv Smith, and do I care at that point? The guy I'm gonna get, I'm still drafting a starter at that point.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
I mean, ugh. Now, of course, if you have a tight end premium league, that changes things. So
right.
All right, so let's go on with our ranks. Number 11, we've got Mike Gesicki. Mike Gesicki's still a Dolphin, guys. Don't know what to tell you. Number 12 is Robert Tonyan. Tonyan has a lot of potential. Here's the problem with Robert Tonyan. Aaron Rodgers is the problem with Robert Tonyan. Because Aaron Rodgers has never consistently thrown to a tight end in his career. Never. 1-2 game, he'll get him hot. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers has seen the light. Robert Tonyan is the new Travis Kelce. And then the next 3 weeks, he catches a combined 4 passes for 18 yards.
Now with Randall Cobb there now. No.
And now Randall Cobb is there.
And they're roommates, so yeah.
Who, Randall and Robert Tonyan?
No, Randall and Rodgers.
Oh, Jesus. How does Devontae Adams feel about all this? You've done everything for this team. You have caught everything he has thrown off his arm, and your reward is for him to go into the front office and go, if you want me to keep playing, you got to bring me the receiver I want. I mean, he's a professional and he'll deal with it, but man, how rude is that?
I don't know. Well, I think because I don't think Adams is going to be there next year, so I don't think it really matters.
I agree. All right, back to our tight ends. Number 13 is Irv Smith. Good luck. This is once you get past number 9 into the Higbee, Gesicki, Tonyan, Irv Smith realm, None of these guys are consistent. The question is, and for different reasons, the question is, which one do you have the most faith in? Hunter Henry, great example. Not consistent. Evan Engram, number 15 for us, can't stay on the field. Eric Ebron, number 16. Eric Ebron literally gets up and flips a coin and decides whether or not he's going to catch 6 patches every week. It is such a coin shoot. Jared Cook. Jared Cook is the best tight end in the league at missing games.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with Jared Cook. 18, Jonnu Smith. Remember last year, everybody was big on John Smith, including me.
Yeah.
Including me. The Titans were coming off an AFC Championship appearance. This offense looked like it was starting to click. Every position had breakout potential. And then Jonnu Smith just didn't do it. So Domi's at 18. I have him ranked at 12th. I still haven't given up on Jonnu Smith.
You haven't. You're still there. You're holding on.
I wish I could quit him. Number 19 is Adam Troutman. Craig, you're going to have to tell me about Adam Troutman because you're the only guy who put him on your top 15. You have him at 13. Talk to me about Adam Troutman and why we got Adam Troutman on this list.
Hold on. I actually had that up and the window closed. Give me 1 second.
You got your notes. He's got to get his notes out.
I do.
And then the last 4 are just kind of like guys who we know exist in the league. They still play.
So for me, really, Troutman was one of my deep sleepers. You know, he's on the Saints. The Saints offense is clearly changing, and I think he has potential. Honestly, I think he's a great best ball option.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't
see that.
Or use him in DFS as if for some reason both of your tight end, if you have 2 tight ends and they're both hurt, pick him up for a week. But if you're doing best ball, he's definitely someone to look at to have.
2 years ago, Craig and I took shots on this kid named Darren Waller in best ball any chance we could, like the last 3 picks of drafts. Go draft this kid from the Raiders because you never know. My God, that you want to take flyers, best ball is the best place to take flyer shots, particularly at tight end.
Yep.
Particularly at tight end. All right, so number 20 is Rob Gronkowski. Number 21 is Blake Jarwin. Number 22 is Gerald Everett. And number 23 is Anthony Firkser.
He still plays.
Anthony Firkser. Here's the funny thing. Us, the top bottom 4, Gronk, Jarwin, Everett, and Firkser are all exactly the same rating. We all have them at the bottom of our lists. And I'm just kind of like, they're basically the same guy.
They are.
They're basically the same guy. So we're not going to spend too much time breaking this down. We'll probably talk a little bit about during the roundtable. Let me run the list one more time, and then we're going to do our fabulous kicker and defense preview. At number 1, we've got Travis Kelce because duh. Number 2, Darren Waller. And number 3 is George Kittle. Number 4 is Mark Andrews. TJ Hawkinson, we think still has great potential, so we have him at number 5. And the fact of the matter is, he's probably, after Mark Andrews, he's the most reliable person still on the board. Kyle Pitts is coming out, and he could be make or break right off the bat. Here's what I'll say about Kyle Pitts. If he struggles out the gate, we have Pitts at 6. If he struggles out the gate, after week 3, if he is struggling, he is a great buy low candidate. Go get him.
Yeah.
Go call that owner who's like, I'm taking Kyle Pitts in round 6, and I'm making my championship plans. That's it. If you got that guy in your league, call him. Oh, really? Pitts isn't working out for you? You want Tyler Higbee? Make that move. Make that move. If he struggles, he'll be a great buy low guy. Number 7 is Noah Fant. Number 8 is Dallas Goedert. I'm not sure why. Number 9 is Logan Thomas. Number 10 is Tyler Higbee. Where the hell is Zach Ertz?
He's not on this list.
We didn't rank Zach Ertz?
No, we didn't.
Is he really falling that much? Hold on, I'm going to one of the pros that I trust. I'm going to look and see where he's got Ertz.
I think because he's
Holy
still...
crap! He's got him at 26!
Yeah, because no one knows what the Eagles are going to do with him. The last I read that he's probably going to get traded somewhere, but no one knows where, and he doesn't want to be an Eagle anymore.
He is so low on this list. He's behind Cole Kmet, who is also not on our list. Cole Kmet also did not make our list this year. Wow. Wow, Jared Cook 27. Maybe we might be overranking Jared Cook a little bit, but that's okay. So remember when O.J. Howard was the future? Now he's number 34. Just saying.
Yep.
Chris Herndon. Oh man,
he's hurt again. He hurt his hamstring.
Again. I know. Where did I leave off? I think we said number 10 was Tyler Higbee. Number 11 is Mike Gesicki. 12 is Robert Tonyan. The sooner that Jordan Love is the starter there, the happier Robert Tonyan will be. 13 is Irv Smith, because even once in a while, for reasons I'll never understand, Kirk Cousins has a moment of brilliance and actually dumps it off. Number 14 is Hunter Henry, because that team is still a decent offense. 15 is Evan Engram if he's not starting any fights in Giants practice. Number 16 is Eric Ebron, because hey, why not? 17 is Jared Cook for us, and that is Craig. That's you're the one who raised Cook up. You got to own that. Jared Cook bombs out, you're gonna have to take some hate mail on that. Just telling you.
That's fair.
Number 18 is Jonnu Smith, and I'll take the hate mail on that. 19 is Adam Troutman. Then at the bottom we have Rob Gronkowski, Blake Jarwin, Gerald Everett, and Anthony Ferkser, all essentially as the same guy. So, okay, that's our fabulous tight end preview. Let's do the kicker preview. To this, I'm going to kick it to Craig. We spend notoriously 30 to 60 seconds per year on kicker. Craig, go.
Oh, wait, let's see. Well, I have my list. Where's our list?
There wasn't one.
Oh, we didn't make one.
Because the only one who actually sent me kicker numbers was no one. None of you sent me kicker numbers.
I did.
So I didn't do one.
Oh, sad. All right.
So tell me your perspective. Give me 60 seconds on kickers. Go for it.
All right. So the one thing with kickers in fantasy, if your fantasy team league requires kickers, the one thing you want to look at is their percentage for hitting field goals and points after and then field goals. And then with field goals, you want to look, if your league has a minus point system for missed kicks, you do want to look at the amount of kicks they've missed and the distance that was. Mm-hmm. But again, you're not drafting a kicker till, round, 17 over many rounds.
Picking it up off of waivers, yeah.
Right. So for me, I'll just say, my top 5 are Koo, Zerline, Bucker, Scoop. I never pronounced that right. Gold.
Brian Suckup?
Suckup, thank you. Gold, Sanders, and Bass.
Tyler Bass is getting a lot of chat in the preseason. I've seen at least one expert that has him ranked as the number 1 kicker going into fantasy this year. Now that's because Buffalo, he's going to have an opportunity to kick
and
a
Buffalo
lot. And Buffalo
scores a lot. So I mean, if you want points after, you can look at that too.
Yeah.
For some reason, Cinch is not big on Koo. I am. I think he's an excellent kicker. Atlanta scores a lot.
He's concerned about the Atlanta offense in general. I mean, and that's the thing.
But
he'll sit there and say, I'm concerned about the Atlanta offense, but then he'll say Mike Davis is a sleeper.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm like,
Julio Jones, the past 3 seasons, how much of a factor was he in their offense? And they still scored a lot. So is it going to make...
They lost, we went over this the other day. How many games did they lose? 37-32 last year.
Right. A fair number.
They scored over 25 points a lot of the time, and that means that's where I'm going to go with this. Look for kickers that are going to have an opportunity to be in high-powered offenses or shootouts. Look for kickers with teams that are their offense is better than average and their defense is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know up until just a couple days ago, I would have told you that Indianapolis was a key possibility for that.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
I had Blankenship on a team, and now I don't know.
Baltimore, Justin Tucker, Will Lutz in New Orleans. New Orleans.
That's the other thing too. You can look at kickers that mostly kick indoors. That's a big thing as well.
Indoors matter. That gives Atlanta and Lutz in New Orleans a big up, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm just saying. And back in the day, it used to be, the guy kicking in Denver. Brandon McManus is exceptionally average. I'm not big on that. I pick up the best available. Trust whatever expert you listen to. And if you don't trust any experts, look for high-powered offenses that combo with low-strength defenses, because those games are going to be shootouts, and they're going to be opportunities to kick galore. Defenses. Let's talk about defenses really quick. The only person who sent me defensive numbers was Cinch. So Cinch has the Rams as the best defense, then Washington and the Niners. I looked at some people I trust earlier today, and I'm pulling up the numbers I was looking at today. I'm looking for defenses that are going to cause turnovers this year. And for that, I've got 4 names on my list.
Okay.
I have got 4. Again, teams are going to and teams are going to sack a lot. Teams are going to looking at 50 plus sacks. I think honestly, the team to watch this year, and a lot of people aren't on them, is the Arizona Cardinals. This is a team that can generate 50 plus sacks and 25 to 30 turnovers easy. I'm just saying, is that the top numbers in the league? Probably not. But I think Arizona is a defense to potentially target. And don't forget, even though he's already hurt himself, that's where JJ Watt is. JJ Watt makes every team better even when he's not playing. Just saying that. But most of the experts are saying go with the guys who get turnovers a lot, like the Bucks, like the Steelers, like the Redskins. The Redskins force a lot of turnovers and they get a lot of sacks. So those are the teams to watch. Craig, who are you looking at in defense? Who stands out to you?
I was going to say the Dolphins, but I feel like the Dolphins are having way too much drama, especially with Xavier being there and then him saying he's only there so he doesn't get fined.
Yeah.
So for
Drama
me,
hurts it.
I would probably stay away from the Dolphins, but that's me. I do, I'm on board with Washington. The Colts defense is going to be on the field a lot. So that's a double-edged sword because a lot could happen, or they can get very tired.
Or both.
Or both. The Bills are always good. Remember, they play at home in the cold. They're used to that. And I like the 49ers only because they have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year, and that's never a bad thing.
Fair. That's fair. I think I'm going to – and obviously you wait on defense. Defense is just something you pick up late. And you got to watch the injury reports. I tend to stream defenses from week to week, so I don't even worry about defense. There have been drafts. Our league has a rule that you have to have a complete starting lineup before the end of a draft.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to draft a defense.
You do, or I do as well.
Exactly. We have to draft defenses. So if I didn't have that rule, I'd probably just pick one up before week 1. I really don't worry too much about defense. I actually worry more about if I get my hands on a good kicker, a kicker that I think is going to have a lot of kick opportunities. I worry more about that than I worry about having a reliable defense. But this year, I definitely think I'm looking at teams I think that are going to have opportunity. I think Arizona. I think the Giants could surprise some people, but I don't think they're going to. I think Arizona is going to be one of the top 3 defenses in the league. So, Craig. We're saving time and energy for the big roundtable discussion. So let's move on to final thoughts. That's our spectacular. Tight ends, you're going to need one. Kicker, you might need one depending on your league rule. And defense, sure, why not? With all that in mind, Craig, wrap up Big Bow on our 2021 rankings with your final thought.
My final thought, thank you for being with us for our 5th season. We know this is the most exciting episode that we do all year. We appreciate it.
Sorry, I am.
And, just get ready for your draft. Try not to be Sean and overthink everything. Because Sean right now, because of what happened with the Colts, is totally redoing his running back rankings.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. I get another text saying I'm adjusting my running back rankings again. No, you're not.
So just don't overthink it. Just go. You know what? If you're at your draft and you're deciding between 2 or 3 people, just go with your gut and just let draft happen. Don't stress
too
much.
Come to you.
Exactly.
That's the advice I give every freaking year.
Yep.
Let the draft come to you. Don't react. Let it come to you. But all the running backs are gone. Then that means there's good wide receivers staring at you.
Exactly.
But there's only 3 tight ends left. Then that means there's got to be a better quarterback available. Let the draft come to you. Do not react. I know some of you are going to be having your drafts in the next week or two. That's why we try to get these rankings out to you guys early. Don't overreact. Let the draft come to you. And that's my final thought for today. Next week, roundtable number 1. What will it be about? I don't know, probably quarterbacks. We'll figure it out. But the 4 of us will sit and start discussing our rankings. We'll start talking draft strategy. We'll really get into the meat. As boring as the tight end, kicker, and defense episode is, we jokingly call it the most exciting episode. Our roundtables are really not to be missed. You will have, and this is not an exaggeration, over 125 years of fantasy football experience sitting around. Is that right? Did I just no? We've been doing this as a 3, 7, 28. So 28 times 4 is we'll have over 100 years of fantasy experience. It's 120 if we have the source, and I don't think we're getting the source. That's why it's in my mind. You're gonna have over 100 years of fantasy football experience sitting around a group of mics talking. So let me put this on the table right now. Today it's the first week of August. If you have anything you want to hear about in the fantasy football roundtable, email us at fignutsdfs@gmail.com. Tweet at us. Say, hey, Fignuts, we want this in the roundtable, and throw your question at us. I will bring your questions to the roundtable. This is an opportunity for you guys to reach out and get a lot of good information. Situational, draft, whatever it is. We'd love to hear from you. So reach out to us on Twitter at FignutsDFS. Email one more time is fignutsdfs@gmail.com. And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast on Facebook. Make sure you leave us a review too, wherever you listen to us. We always appreciate it. Feedback is always greatly appreciated. So
it is.
With that, I hereby call a formal close to the 2021 ranking season. And now we shift gears into draft prep.
And we're back already. Crazy.
Not that the rankings isn't draft prep, but it's kind of the first stage.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know, now we start doing the mocks and we start getting together and we start talking about what we want to talk about. So, and we had hoped to be able to reopen the main studio. We had hoped to be opening the Blake Bortle Memorial Studio back to the public to do this. It doesn't look like that's going to be the best idea given the Delta variant, so we'll do it remotely. But we will be. I'd hope to have us all in the same room so we could all actively yell at each other and see if maybe
it's always
Cinch
enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance that Cinch is going to throw something at Sean. That's those things. Those risky make it just more worthwhile.
We can watch Sean not look at the mic or face the mic.
Yeah, that's. You guys don't see this, but we literally set up. We have 3 active mics in this studio because when we set this thing up, we never had a plan of having 4 people. Cinch and Sean were kind enough to join us as contributors, and they've been so great with us. As much as we mock them and some of the things that they write to us, they are tremendous. We could not do this podcast the way we do it without them. And so we sit in a circle because there's a third mic and 4 of us. Sean has to sit next to a mic, and he and Cinch both lean into the same mic. But Sean has this thing about making eye contact with the person he's addressing. So I'm sitting to his left, and he'll turn his head to the left, and now he's talking towards me and not the mic. And you've got to see Craig instantly like waving his hands in the air and silently pointing at the mic.
Like trying to land a plane.
It's like trying to land a plane. And then you'll hear Sean in the middle of a thought see this and be like, you know, I really think the Dolphins, huh? Well, oh, okay. I'll talk into the mic. And you're like, no, idiot. The reason we're signaling you is so that you don't verbalize that you're not talking into the mic.
Oh,
you know?
man.
And it's a shame because we've known him forever, right? We've known Sean forever. He's a good friend. He's a good guy. His fantasy football insights are really solid. And then we put him on the air, and he talks away from the mic, and we're like, "Dude,
it was your time to shine.
This is your chance." They're already talking about a spinoff called the Sean Hour. Come on, God, I should not have put that out there. He's gonna listen to that. The Sean Hour, huh? Spinoff. Anyway, so folks, we'll be back next week with our fantasy roundtable in some way, shape, or form. Send us those questions at the sites I listed. We really appreciate all of you listening. Until we speak next week, my name is Britt.
I'm Craig.
And we are the Football Fignuts Podcast.